Hello, I'm Ben of Silverbush Physical Therapy. Today I'm going to show you a series of exercises with the longest name of any exercise I've ever heard of. Sub-Maximal multiple angle isometric shoulder strengthening. Now these exercises are fantastic for stabilization of the shoulder. They're good for us in general, and they're also great for anybody who's had a history of a subluxation or dislocation of the shoulder, a procedure, or after an overuse injury. So these exercises are known as closed kinetic chain ones because they help you with the ability to be able to push against something like pushing a heavy door. When we talk about open kinetic chain exercises, their counterpart, we're referring to the ability to be able to pull and carry things. We'll be discussing that in future videos. But for now, let's talk about the isometric exercises. So these exercises are really good because you're strengthening the entire range of motion. Unlike what you'll see in a lot of other demonstrations of isometric shoulder strengthening, where you're just pushing against a surface and strengthening one angle, getting every angle will help reinforce the newfound range of motion that you're recovering as you've been doing your stretching and going through the healing process. Let's start with shoulder flexion. That's the ability to reach your arm overhead. To work this motion, I'm going to make a fist, place it against the wall with my elbow slightly bent, and I'm going to push against the wall until I feel the shoulder working but not hurting as hard as I can without pain. Hold for a count of 5, have a brief pause, step back a little to get more range of motion, about 20 degrees higher, and repeat. Once I get to shoulder height, I'm going to push straight ahead, and if I can do beyond that without pain, I keep my shoulder blade down and I advance forward a bit. Now let's say this is rep number 6, and I'm not able to go higher because it's going to be painful. So rep number 7, I would start back at the bottom again. Next, we're going to do shoulder extension. Now I typically recommend you do the easier motion second. And extension is the counterpart to what we just did, flexion. So let's start with that. I'm going to push against the wall, elbow slightly bent again, 5 seconds. Step out a little bit forward. And after I've done 1 or 2 of these, I'm going to have to return to my starting position, as there's not nearly as much range for shoulder extension. Next, we're going to work on internal rotation. Internal rotation is the ability of the arm to do this, to reach behind the back. So for this one, I'm going to place my hand against a solid surface. I want my elbow at a 90-degree angle. I grab this random towel that just happens to be here. I place it between my shoulder and trunk, and I'm going to push 5 seconds in this neutral position. And then I'm going to pivot my feet just slightly to move my body inwards. 5 seconds, and maybe I'll get 1 more. And then I'm going to start back at center, working my way towards 10. Next up, external rotation. External rotation, basically this motion right here, or something like this. So, place my towel, 90-degree angle, and this time, I've got the back of my hand against this. I'm going to start stepping a little bit outwards, each 5 seconds. Maybe I'll get 2 of those, come back to center, and repeat. Shoulder abduction is the ability to move the arm out to our side. So for this one, I'm going to make a fist, have a wall against my side. I'm going to push against it. 5 seconds, come up about 20 degrees. And when I get to shoulder height, if I'm still pain-free, I can continue. I'm going to push this straight out, and then I'll have to move closer to it. The whole time keeping my shoulder blade from hiking. So none of this. Like so, until I get to 10 reps. Again, if I can't reach 10, I'd start back at the bottom again. Now for adduction of the shoulder, we're going to be moving the arm back towards our body. So Just need a towel roll for that. This one is the only one we're not doing multiple angles for. Just gonna squeeze, hold 5 seconds, pause briefly, and repeat until you get to 10 reps. For all the isometric exercises, I recommend 2 sets of 10 reps. Each repetition is held 5 seconds each, and there's going to be a brief pause between them. When you're doing any type of isometric strengthening, make sure that you're not holding your breath. Hope this was helpful.